Alright. We're going to try and animate some landing gear. And now, originally, I'm probably going to split this up into a couple of videos on this one. There's quite a bit to cover. We'll try and get at least the basic premise and the hardest ones done. We're going to start on the front landing gear, which is, well, like I said, we're going to try and split it up. Landing gear, the animation is a little odd in that it's actually like for two different animations. And here they give an example. This is even for non-retractable landing gear, they use it for the compression. That's like your strut compression or landing compression, and it's a 50-50 or 50% bias. Neutral in the center, 50 either way. And then on full retracting gear, they use 0 to 400 basically, with the first 200 being the extension and retraction animation, and the last half of the bias being for gear compression. So we're going to kind of, or I'm going to kind of split the difference. But anyway, it's a little bit different. Here's my little cheat sheet. These are my names I'll use. But you know, it's a little different in that it's almost like two separate animations. So let's get started here. Let's do the. Oh, I hope I didn't. I may have already left this animation in there. I don't. Okay, yeah, I did. So you're gonna need to, and I've already done it in this example. You're gonna need to find this gear, landing gear, and you need 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Center, gear right, gear left, right here, and that's. Let me open this all the way up so you can see where I put it. It'll be in the gears component, along with the tire animations, the 3 tire animations that we just did. I just added this comment above it, so it's kind of separated from the others. And like I said, that's the top 3 here, excluding the ID gears. We already have that part. So I should have done that. I deleted and straightened the model back out, but I forgot to remove the code. So we need that code in there because it's our roadmap for these 3 animations we're going to use. So I'm going to slide that over here, but that's where I'll get my actual NLA track names or animation. So have code now. So yeah, you're going to want to stop and get that copied in there. Sorry, I should have. And did I not save? Yeah, I did. Let's delete that. Yeah, let's delete that. Okay. Now, what we have is we need to animate this, say this front gear, for example, and we need to rotate it around a single dot way up in here somewhere. So we need to establish that dot. It's going to be, I'm going to put it on the back side of this pipe. I mean, put it much anywhere, just so it rotates from a non-visible point. In this case, not actually making pivot or anything. All right. Oh shoot. I did not do. When you get here. So we're going to pick our point. We want to put that dot there. Okay, then get out of that. And slash key will isolate or unisolate like that. I've used it enough, you should know. Alright, and that's going to be our pivot, so we need an empty there. That's actually what I just deleted, but you can see it created from scratch. And I'm going to call this gear. Where's my cheat sheet? Gear front controller. Where'd it go? Partially named it. There it is. Okay, gear front controller. Thank you. Got that. Now we're going to add loose parts to it, and just what's called parenting to it. We're going to select the loose part, shift, select the item. In this case, our controller. Right click, parent object, and it'll drop that object underneath it right there. So what that does is it ties that object to the, I don't know if you can see it here, to the parent object. See now that pipe is moving. Okay, so undo that. So there. We're gonna, in the front, in case of this front one, we have two. Trying to get that two pieces of pipe. There it is. I want to get the other one. Parent it. Now on the wheel, we have two separate controllers. Okay, so basically we want to, and which control the same two objects. So basically we want to select both of those, then that object, and we'll just parent both of those together at the same time. And there we go. Now we have a gear front controller, and if you look here, this is what I'm showing. Gear front controller, loose parts parented to it, loose controller or wheel controller, steering controller, which I've spelled wrong. And this is the name of the animation that we're going to give to this component, to our gear front controller. And it's going to be a simple 100, or no, it's going to be the 200, so we got 100 bias, so we'll start at 100 and drop our keyframe. Now, I messed up. That was only rotation, so let's delete that. Okay. First, critical. Make sure you got location and rotation for these. Alright, drop a keyframe. Now, then from there, it goes over here, and at 0, it's going to retract. But in this case, we're going to eventually have this thing that has to open and close before this thing. And so, like if I move this, and I happen to know it's minus 100 instead of 90. So if I happen to start moving, let's say we do it here. This would be, normally that looks right. Except for what's going to happen is if I make this thing, the hatch, start at the same time and close at the same time, you're going to have some problems. One's going to overlap the other, and when you're right here, the other one's going to be in the middle of the thing. So we have to make it a bit different. What we're going to do duplicate these keyframes, move them all the way to 60. And these should all be, I can do that at any. So now is what happens is it is when we start to open it, there's a 40%, and if you hadn't figured it out yet, I'm going to have that door, or all four of the doors, open and close from 60 to 100. And so 60 to 100, the doors will open and it'll close. Or in this case, I may be doing this backward. I share my... you know what? Let's forget all that. We'll fix that. We'll fix that when we get there. Let's just do this normally without the doors. And then from the 100, we'll go to the 200. Remember that. And then I'll redo those after with the door, so I can watch them and see the timing. All right, and here we could just leave this. I mean, we don't really necessarily need to have any compression, but we might as well. Well, add a little bit of that to it. Not much, because we can't do a whole lot to the other end. Well, I guess I could spread them sideways. And so now, you know, they got a little bit of that when you hit the ground. And then go up. Okay, so throw that to our gear front controller. Gear center. Animation. And the back ones are very much similar. Set us a pivot point, key, slash key. Can add us an empty. Will be gear right controller. And our stuff to it. Add this wheel controller to it. Gear right controller, gear right wheel controller. Or just loose parts. Perfect. Alright. So then we'll go back to this. Again, we'll throw this in at 100, 60. Oh, it's going to be 40. I don't know. No, we weren't doing any. Go to 100. And I'm not sure what this one is. 90. No, that's wrong. What's the chance of that being 90? Okay, well, let's let that one roll right there. That looks like it. Same thing. $200. I can't do any up. I do, because I'll come through. I've already looked at that. But we can do a little bit of, just a touch. A little bit of splaying to the side might give it a, yeah, and make it feel like it's, all right. And one more. My best friend. No, I did that in a different place. Let's go inside. Outside edge. Front style. Make sure it's the same as the other, I guess. Not sure we'd notice, but add. See, this is our left. Here, left. Controller. Hope I got that in time. Alright, fix the object, parent, an object, an object, an object. That looks right. It is down. Huh. There it is. Drop a frame. Everything. Same thing to our 200. And that's about the main difference is really just that there is it's got two kind of different little animations. It's kind of something like that. I'm not being very precise. See me? Yeah, that should look good. So that, oh, we didn't get either one. This is gear left. Drop that. Got to drop the animations. Drop that to there. Gear left controller. Right controller. All right, now we need to name our animations that I forgot to do one at a time. Copy. Right. Control V. Here. All right. That should do it. So. Okay. That one. Make sure I'm not still trying to edit something. Let's export that and give it a shot. I would have to, as neurotic as I am, I would have to chase down those mesh duplicates. So somewhere there's something named the same. I might have done it, setting up textures. Who knows? I think I'm still on live weather. Ah, well.
Kilo Golf Oscar, Kilo Traffic November, 246 Alpha Tango, taking off runway tree for straight out departure.
Yeah, if you're somebody like me that reads the instructions last, I spent quite a while. Now I can go. This thing's a nightmare. There we go. That looks cool. It'll look a lot better when we get the hatches to come with it. Now they're not difficult, but I want to go through them. I always have trouble with the way they're laid out. In other words, the front ones are going to be a little bit of a trick because I got to make sure the axis is correct. Goof around and waste it, so I'm gonna call that good on that one. That's the basic gear animation, and we'll pick up and I'll do another short follow-up on how to animate the hatches after I make sure I'm not gonna make too big a fool out of myself. And I'll talk to you in just a little while.